Well, it is time to talk travel. Certainly a lot to talk about as we continue to navigate the pandemic and what it means to our travel plans. Our travel expert, Kathy Kennedy, joining us this morning to answer some of our common questions. Hey, Kathy, good morning.
Hey, how are you?
Well, it is still certainly fun to talk about travel, but no doubt I think the travel industry has really been hit as one of the hardest businesses of the year with COVID.
Yes, absolutely. I think cruise ships were the first one out there with the issues with COVID happening. So yeah, travel has really had a tough one.
And speaking of those cruise ships, can you bring us up to speed on what we're seeing when it comes to some of those cruise lines and what they're doing?
Oh yeah, we're watching it very closely. I mean, right now, CLIA, which is the Cruise Line International Association, has actually suspended all sailings now up until October 31st. So they're tentatively going to start sailing November 1st. But before that has to happen, CLIA has to negotiate with the CDC on the proper protocol. And I think that's what everybody that I've talked to, the biggest thing is about, we just want to feel that we can get on a ship, get off a ship, and it be safe and secure. And that's exactly what CLIA and the CDC are working on. So nobody's going anywhere till then. So just, keep that in mind. And the great thing, though, is that they have put together this Set Sail executive committee. And they're just coming up with very innovative, this whole COVID-19 thing has thrown us into, I want to say, the light year, the Jetson Lightway, or whatever world, because we're coming up with all these new things. And that Sail Safe committee is coming up with new air filters that will, just like a hospital, it's coming up with e-mustard, so you don't have to go to mustard stations anymore. So a lot of the technology is being used to make cruising safe, but it's still all in the works. November, December, they say they're going to be in the water. My prediction, the first part of the quarter of 2021 will be a slow go with a few ships trickling in. But I think by second quarter, so I want to say spring break gets in there, I think it's going to be wide open. So time to plan.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. If you can look ahead into 2021 and even into 2022, you'd be able to safely find some good deals. And with their policies, they're really protecting their passengers, too.
And you think about it, and this is where a lot of people, they're not really, and we keep up with all this, they're not really negotiating a lot of the pricing, although the pricing right now is really good. It's capacity controlled. I mean, how much, we've seen that already just here on land, you've got to be 6 feet. These ships are going to be capacity controlled. In fact, they already are. You can't even book. I'm finding I can't get on certain sailings because they've already sold out with where they've cut the capacity. So yes, planning now is critical to get you into that vacation for 21 and 22.
All right, and then talk to us a little bit about some of the trends as people are planning their travel for later in the year or into next year, seeing a lot of love for the great USA. A lot of people saying, you know what, let's travel right here to what we already have not so far away.
Yes, and even my son calls me, he's talking about honeymoon. They were going to go to Greece. He just told me, he says, how about national parks, Mom? It is a lot of people are focusing in on the US of A. Of course, my Alaska rail and sail sold out. I've got another Alaska trip. Hawaii is very hot. And of course, the national parks, anything out west is really right now. In fact, the trains in the balloon, I have 2 seats left on that. So it's very, very popular, again, for 21. Some of it's already being booked into 22. But most people right now are focusing in on the good old US of A.
And how about river cruises? You know, we talk about those big ocean liners, but river cruises seem to be doing it a little bit differently, too.
Before COVID, that was the fastest growing segment of the travel business. And as a matter of fact, AMA Waterways is sailing right now in Europe. Now, there's no Americans on there, but they are actually sailing the rivers. So it's slowly starting to come back in Europe. We see next year, again, Q1, Q2 is going to be very popular. Now, Viking on the other hand, has not changed their dates. They are still sailing November 1 and out. But what's really great, you keep that US of A in there, they have now the Mississippi River and the Great Lakes sailings, and those are in 2022. So a great time to be planning those. In fact, they've sold out of a lot of those sailings, and they're starting to try and add some more back in. So river cruising is still in there.
All right, and as we are talking about planning those vacations into 21 and 22, Kathy, really important that you do your homework and you do it with the professionals, right?
Yeah, guys, whatever, we have really gone through it with travel this year, and I've heard so many nightmare stories of people who've tried to do it on their own. I've, 12 years in this business and one of the top producers for cruise planners. And I've traveled a lot, so I've got a lot of history there. But I'll tell you what, with COVID, I have really want to protect my clients, making sure we've got refundable deposits, making sure it's all under one bucket. So go to the travel expert. Call me. I can make that 21, 22 vacation the best ever.
All right. And you do Travel Talk online, right? Facebook?
Yes. Travel Talk Tuesday at 2. Go to my Facebook. I am up to date. I will keep you up to date as to what's going on in both cruise, land, resort, tours. We'll get you all up to date on what's happening. It's every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Facebook.
She's very social, folks, very social. Kathy, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll give you the information. If you would like to do some travel planning, 21 and 22, you can give Kathy Kennedy a call. You can also check out her website for more information. And don't forget, she's also on Facebook. The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities was sponsored by